it's Monday. So, sorry I have to whisper, but it's like 2 in the morning, but this is the only time I could film my video, so I'm sorry, but shh. So, I had nothing to talk about today, so I thought I'd talk about, because I was watching on TJ's main channel, he did a book review thing, and I love when people do book reviews, because, like, I read, like, in an obsessive manner, not in a, like, healthy manner, where it's like, oh, good job, you're a teenager, and you read, in, like, an obsessive, like, I will pick up 6 books at the library and go through them in 2 days and then be like jonesing for a new book to read kind of manner. So I like live for book reviews because you never know what's good to read. And when I start reading a book, I have to finish it because like maybe there will be that like part that's like made it worth reading, but like there never is. If it starts off crappy, it usually ends crappy, but like every once in a while one redeems itself and then you're like, damn it, now I'm gonna have to keep reading all of them. So I thought I'd show you my pretty much my all-time favorite book. Like, not favorite, like, it doesn't contend with, like, my classic favorites, like Huck Finn or, like, Picture of Dorian Gray. Like, those are, like, my, like, all-time classic favorites, like Lord of the Flies. But, like, as a current book, not counting, like, series, because I love series. As a current book standing, like, on its own, this is probably the best book I've ever read that isn't, like, a classic book, like Brave New World. Like, just, like, what? Sorry, I'll just tell you what it is instead of hyping it up. So the book is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. And it's his first book. He's actually coming out with a new book soon that he co-wrote with someone, and it sounds really good. But I'm going to talk about this one first. So 13 Reasons Why is a book about this girl. Well, see, this book works great for like both genders to read because usually you either have like a boy narrator who's like just talking about like his relationship with a girl, so it ends up being like a girl book anyways, or you have a boy narrator who is just talking about being a boy, and so girls are reading this, they're like, oh, not interesting. Or you have a girl narrator, and girls narrators are almost always bad for boys to read because they're just not, they don't like, it's not captivating for a boy to read about the inner functions of a fake girl's mind. Like, it's not interesting for them. But this book is told from a boy's point of view, and it's his thought processes, but it's his thoughts as he's reacting to what the tapes of this girl are telling him. So it's basically like having a boy and a girl main narrator. So it helps both people, and it's not a purely like relationship based thing, so it's not like one of those like lovey-dovey things at all. It's a really like dark book. It's about this girl Hannah Baker, who you find out basically from the beginning that this main character boy has a crush on. Like, he had a crush on this girl, but she killed herself. And she killed herself like a couple weeks ago. And all of a sudden, these sets of tapes show up at this boy's house, and he puts the first tape in. He's like, who the fuck uses cassette tapes anymore? But Jay Asher said he used cassette tapes because he wanted to use something that in like 10 years, when this book is still like in like a new store or something, someone wouldn't like pick it up and be like, oh, he read the books on like he listened to the tapes on like a CD player or like an iPod. We don't use those anymore. So he chose something that was already like out of date, so it would stay like logical in the process of the novel, so it was already out of date. And so he puts the first cassette in the player, and it starts playing, and it's like Hannah Baker, and her like first words to him are, hold on, let me find them. I shall read these. I probably should look for that first. Oh, noises are being made in my kitchen. The first tape he puts in, this is the first thing he hears. He has no idea this package has no return address, has nothing on it, anything like that. But it just goes, hello, boys and girls. Hannah Baker here, live and in stereo. No return engagements, no encore, and this time, absolutely no requests. I hope you're ready, because I'm about to tell you the story of my life. More specifically, why my life ended. And if you're listening to these tapes, you're one of the reasons why. I'm not saying which tape brings you into the story, but fear not, if you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up. I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie? Hey, that sounds like a joke. Why would a dead girl lie? Answer, because she can't stand up. Go ahead, laugh. Well, I thought it was funny. The rules are pretty simple. There are only 2. Rule number 1, you listen. Number 2, you pass it on. Hopefully, neither one will be easy for you. And so he spends an entire night listening to these tapes and like finding out why this girl decided to end her life. And it's it's such a good book, and so I definitely recommend it to anyone who has not read it yet. And even if you have already read it, because I read this like 3 years ago when it first came out, and then I rebought it because it was like all over like shelves for some weird reason recently. I think they reprinted it in paperback or something, and so I bought it because I had never bought it before. I just rented it from the library, and I bought it and I reread it, and it was just as good the second time as it was the first time. It's just such a good book. And the new book he's coming out with, it's about like this girl 10 years in like 10 years ago, before Facebook was invented. She like uploads her computer, like she owns this new, she just bought a new computer for her family. It's like 10 years in the past. She turns on the computer and this thing Facebook is there. She's like, what the fuck is this? And she sees she can check out what, like, it's herself on Facebook. It's her own Facebook page from like 20 years in the future. So she's like 30 years old and she can see everything that's going on. So she like plays around with it, and like she changes what she does in like her actual present life and see how it affects what happens on her Facebook wall. And then she'll like change things on her Facebook wall, and then suddenly like her life will suddenly change. And it just seems really, really funny and interesting. So yes, guys, read 13 Reasons Why. Do it. Okay, that was all I had to say. Okay, TJ, I'll see you in a couple of hours. Bye.